Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we just had AEW Forbidden Door this weekend. A lot of wrestling this weekend. Night of Champions, Great American Bash. Probably going to try to cover all of them. I just didn't have the time, and this is going to be a little late to the party, so we're going to jump into it and give the best way. Now, AEW, I'm not going to claim that I'm a super hardcore fan. I watch all the product. I try to watch as much as I can, but if I miss Collision, it's probably most weeks. Dynamite, I try to watch, at least get every highlight that I can. If I miss something, because it has some interesting storylines, and I like a lot of the wrestlers on here. So we're gonna talk about it. I watched the buy-in, watched all the matches. It's a long card. I was playing a lot of Rivals in the background, in between matches and stuff like that. So, uh, yeah, I realized it had been a long time because I was like, oh my god, I played this game for so much. Oh my god, I've been watching for so long. So that's the only problem with AEW stuff, at least for me, on that, is it's just a little too long. So the buy-in. Um, I really feel like it's easy just to kind of put all of them in C. I don't think any of them were, bad matches. They're like 10 minutes of just going out there and doing something. I do think the tag match was probably the most entertaining one for me. I'm a big Megan Bayne fan. Um, and Olympia is just has a great look to her. But I didn't want to waste a ton of time on it because a lot of people just end up skipping the buy-in anyways. I think it's solid. I don't mind like a little pre-show type stuff. I think for rematches, it's kind of a lot. But and again, for 30 minutes, it's not the worst thing to see. I wouldn't mind seeing stuff like this on WWE programming if they really put some effort into it. So yeah, I mean, not a bad thing. Now, I know I don't necessarily have the order of all of this, but we have the three-way tag match to start off with. We have, what is it, Sky Team versus the Young Bucks versus, I forget what the other team, what they were called, from New Japan Pro Wrestling. This was honestly just a pretty solid tag match. Like, I really didn't have any problems with it. Obviously, with Sky Team on there, with Mascar Dorado and was it Mystico? Like, I really thought they might have had a little bit more chance of making this match go a lot crazier, but I do think like I wouldn't necessarily put it in S tier, but A tier I think is just like that solid thing where it was just great. Like it was just a great match. I mean, they knew what they were doing. All three teams had a lot of spots in there to look good, and I didn't have a problem with it. I was out of the tag matches that were on this card, it was definitely the best one. Then we had Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, this is a hard not to put in S tier. I mean, it's Kenny Omega for one. Zack Sabre Jr. also is just top of the line. They just would let them go out there. Hey, you got 20 minutes. Go put on a 5-star classic and get you guys back in there. And that's what they did. I mean, they had a lot of good spots. It's just a good match. Like it's hard to explain sometimes. I think that's why I don't always like covering AEW compared to other stuff because it's like I don't know really what to tell you on it if it's just really good. Like you got to watch it. Like you just that's all I got to say. You got to watch that match. You watch it and you know, "Oh, hey, yeah, this is an S tier match." Like that is a perfect example if somebody would say, "Hey man, just give me a good match. Like give me something that just came out like last month." Well, I'm gonna throw them that match because it's just really good, and I would put it like slightly better than other stuff because like it didn't have any gore or anything that had to make it go a little bit higher, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But for me, I'm not always a big fan to see the blood if there's not a reasoning for the blood. Then we had Thekla versus Starlight Kid. A little bit underwhelming for the storyline that was coming in here. I felt like this was the best like story. I feel like at least from an outside perspective of watching the product and watching Stardom and stuff like that. They had multiple different areas where stuff had happened. They've also wrestled each other in Stardom, and the Stardom president was involved with the storyline. But the match itself, I just think I'd put it in a B. I do feel like that's where it kind of got a letdown. I feel like they nerfed Starlight Kid a little bit. Maybe she was a little jet lagged, or they wanted Thekla to look a little bit more, better, like and more dominant. I think that definitely was the case. So in that case, it succeeded. But I do think Starlight Kid should have got some more of a bigger push. Then we had the IWPG. Is it GP? Well, now I'm definitely probably got it wrong. But New Japan Pro Wrestling's heavyweight title, global heavyweight title, was Pac versus Champion. Um, This one, I feel like there was a lot of like technical abilities and slams and stuff. I'm not really big super fan of it. I thought it was a solid match. I just me personally, I just didn't get really invested in it, and that might just be me. I definitely don't think it was bad, but I just wasn't, in it. Then we had John Maxley versus Bandito. I love Bandito, probably one of top five wrestlers that, at least how I view. John Moxley is, just solid. I mean, they had a little bit of blood, some mass, grabbing on here, and I think it all kind of fit. That's where I feel like that type of blood stuff and all of that is perfect, and you know has not not anything that I feel like they had to do. And it was also crazy because with Bandito, he was the first one to bleed. It's always Moxley, it feels like. So I'm gonna put this in a solid A. Then we have Mercedes Moné versus Maya World. A lot of people like this match a lot better. I do feel like this is Maya World's by far best match that she's ever had. Mercedes Money was solid. I don't feel like it was worth as high of a grade that I saw like on Cage Match, and a lot of people were saying they're like, "Man, this is the best match that has ever happened on the women's side of things," and I'm just like really? Like, did I miss something? Like, it's good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's like as high as everybody thought. I thought it was B. I definitely thought it was better than the other women's match, and you know, I guess that's good. I mean, I could put it up here with it at B plus plus. It definitely was a good match, and I think if you just talk about Maya World, she went out there and tried to make herself a star, and I think it worked really well. So hopefully she gets some type of push. Then we get the big team death match in the steel cage that was circular. It was spot after spot after spot. This is one of those matches that I don't think you can like even just rate based off of like any type of wrestling ability. This is all have to do with all the spots. Every spot in here was insane and so many replay values. You had Kevin Knight dying, getting electrocuted and falling through tables. You had the coffin drop by Darby Allin. You had the face plant and the attacks by Darby Allin. You had Leo Rush coming out in a body bag that they pulled out from the ring. They had the Nintendo spot. They had so much stuff that is so iconic, and obviously Andrade turning on Team Don Callis and MGF also helped for that moment. And I thought it was just a fairly entertaining match. You just could not get your eyes off of this, so it's S tier for me. Then we get the regular tag match between the War Dogs and Cope and Christian. I didn't really care for this one. I'm going to put it in C. I like Edge and I like Christian. I think their title reign so far has been okay. This was a decent match, but I feel like all the other matches just kind of outshined it. Then we get to the main event. Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland. I don't know how we don't put this in S tier. It is definitely just an insane back and forth that these two men are constantly going on. The feud going into it, the storyline going into it, everything worked perfectly for this to be the main event. And then we will have Will Ospreay versus MGF at what All In. So that's going to be kind of crazy. At Mercedes Money versus Fekla at All In. So all of those are going to be some pretty solid matches. This was a great PLE, solid A plus PLE. Probably one of the better ones all this together this year. I got to think about it because it's like I don't know. Sometimes I think like of the year starting when WrestleMania has happened, but it's you had some stuff before that. So I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, like you can have skipped the buy-in if you don't like any of the people. I liked most of the people in the buy-in, so I watched it. It was still good, and everything else about this thing I thought was a pretty good card. So definitely check it out if you haven't, and if you want to like and subscribe and comment your favorite match below, you should. But till next time, bye guys.